Hello, hello, everybody, everybody. What's cracking? What's happening? What's going on? How is everybody doing? Guys, a lot of people self-help themselves in bad ways. Okay? Guys, this is serious talk. Serious mofo talk. Literally serious talk. So serious, I think I should get the microphone. I don't know if it works. Oh, right here. Maybe. We'll see. We'll put it right here. So guys, when I'm telling you about some people literally self-help themselves in a bad way, guys. In a very bad way. And I was on someone's live stream. I'm not gonna say who, but it was a live stream. But it's just a lot of people out there. Well, let's just say I was on a live stream that made me think of this video, the topic, because a lot of people deal with self-helping in a very bad way, very bad way. I watched one person live stream, and I watched another person on YouTube, and I'm all like, dude, y'all self. I know people don't really. Let's just say people don't really have knowledge on how to self-help yourself, because people are coming out of like different kind of backgrounds, and they're claiming that these backgrounds that they have is some sort of, how do I put it, syndrome, some sort of syndrome that they have. And by syndrome means toxicity, people that are basically, how do you say, they try to co-host themselves and brainwash themselves on narcissistic or like different behaviors. They blame themselves on these behaviors, and then they find a word such as narcissistic, and they just go forward with it, and they don't really know what it means. Because what I see, where I see it from, is if you Google search your symptoms that you're feeling sick, you're throwing up, you have fever, you have diarrhea, you Google search those, people immediately assume that maybe you have this kind of cancer, or let's say you have blood in the stool, blood in your urine, and people go Google search blood and urine, and then immediately they start jumping into conclusions like, oh my God, that's what I have. They don't go to an actual doctor and actually see what they have. And people misdiagnose themselves way too much that I have seen. People don't get the help that they need in order for them to know that. You gotta go to a brain specialist, and you gotta have some money, because these people have went to school to understand the brain and what is missing from the brain that is making you think that way. Why are you brainwashing yourself? Some people are just like, I'm a narcissistic person, and that's who I am. And then they brainwash themselves because they saw what a narcissistic person is. They're reading about it. They're looking at searches. They're looking at descriptions of what a narcissistic person is, and yada yada yada, and they're assuming that that's what they have, and being humble to a different extent. So when people's humbleness, they're like, yeah, I'm humble, but I'm also, all these things. I'm ADHD. I'm People again, they assume everything. People think that they're ADHD, freaking bipolar. They're like, oh, I'm just so bipolar. And they consume that. They really do. They consume that. They consume that because they're saying that. Nobody's saying that to them. Because, guys, I don't know how many times have you seen a narcissistic person. When you see a narcissistic person, right? And you tell them that they're a narcissistic person, that you don't want to be around them. And what does a narcissistic person do? Doesn't admit it at all. Like, no, I'm not narcissistic. What is wrong with you? You know? So why are people looking at books and claiming that they're narcissistic? How come these people that are claiming that they're narcissistic, because they research on what a narcissistic is, but they're claiming it, but a narcissistic does not accept being a narcissistic. So you're telling me that now I have mixed emotions, because who is the true narcissistic? The narcissistic that does not basically say, oh, I'm not narcissistic, you know, what is wrong with you? You know, this is the way I am, stuff like that. Or is it the person that is claiming to be it? You know, do you see my flow in that system? Do you see my flow? And it's going to be a 15-minute video. I need to talk about this. A lot of people self work on themselves in bad ways, guys. A lot of people, you know, look at books, read, and try to diagnose why they feel this way when they're really not doing anything for themselves. It does take a lot of money to actually go to a brain person, a brain surgeon. Now, they're not gonna do surgery on your brain. They're gonna actually do like MRI, and they can actually. You gotta pay money for this, guys. You do have to pay a lot of money for this. This is real stuff right here. If y'all never heard of this, y'all, whoever's watching this video, if y'all never heard of this, you better Google search it, because there are actually people that MRI a brain, and they MRI it to the point where it's like, what is this person thinking at that moment? They MRI / X-ray, and they try to see what portion of that person's brain is cooperating, what portion's not. Some people think differently, some people, you know, and that is where you determine. You go to a specialist. And again, I understand people can't afford these specialists, but when you self-diagnose yourself and you're doing it in the wrong ways and the bad ways, you're just doing it wrong, you're doing it the bad ways. People constantly tell me, you know, what the heck is that? People constantly tell me that I'm going to I don't know if you can say this on the internet, but 100% of the time, I always, like at work, I had like 5 people say this to me. Oh, you're so bad, you're going to hell. So they have determined that I'm going to hell. And I'm like, I'm glad that you determined that I'm going to hell, because obviously maybe you see something in me that is very gross and disgusting out of your eyes, and something that I did for make you feel that way, because no one is, basically they're already determining where I'm going after life, basically. And it's like, oh, I'm so glad you could determine that. Now I know what to expect. Okay? So people try to diagnose you there, because, oh, I claim to be such a bad person, when in reality I'm a realist person. I try to speak the facts as much as possible. I try to understand other people's, you know, perspectives, and I try to basically see the outcomes. I'm that person. And then it's like, did I miss self-work myself? No, because I knew what kind of person I am. Now, a lot of people will go to, you know, me and say, you know, you talk about others and you don't talk about yourself. I was like, what do I need to work on myself? I already worked on myself. I already found who I was. So it's those people that are self-diagnosing themselves and trying to work on themselves to be a better person is where they are trying to be. Because I never once told myself, I'm trying to be a better person. I'm trying to be a better person. I'm not going to brainwash my brain saying, I got to be a better person with this. I'm trying to be humble. I'm trying to be kind. I have never said that. I've never brainwashed myself to say, I'm trying to do this. I'm trying to do this. I'm trying to focus on, some subject, and that's it. I'm just trying, because that is basically brainwashing yourself in the bad ways, because you are not actually paying attention to what you want to do. People are self-working on themselves in very bad ways, and it hurts me. It really hurts me because when I was helping myself, I went through like crying by myself, talking to myself, now talking to myself on live stream, and just being by myself and working with myself to understand my body, understand, what my personality is going to be, what my personality is, my conditions, my health. It took me a while to understand myself. I didn't have anybody else to tell me, oh, you're narcissistic, or oh, you're ADHD, or oh man, you're so wrong for this. I didn't have nobody saying that to me. I self did it myself. But people have other people. I just watched a video from Tara Yummy, and I love her so much. She's very cute. She is a cute person. She reminds me of the Water Boy's girlfriend. That's what she reminds me of. She literally in her videos kept brainwashing herself right then and there. And I said, "Look, sweetie, I put a whole thing. If you haven't seen that, we'll see it. But I put like, first of all, this is what she kept doing. She's like, and hot girls need some time to cry a little bit, and after we stop crying, we become hot girls again. Like, oh, and hot girls. So she just keeps brainwashing herself and hot girls because she's cute. She is cute. But she's rubbing it in her brain that she's too hot, that she cannot do these things. And after she does this thing, she's hotter again. That's a little bit too much ego right there. You have to balance your ego. And so she's just like, hot girls do this, hot girls do that, hot girls, just because I'm a hot girl, I'm just a hot girl. And like, that just seems very cocky. Seems like your ego is way up there with your hot girlness. And I said, look, you're cute and everything, but it's just, you can't be brainwashing your brain. You could be hot all you want. You could be like, oh, it's just because you're not hot. And then they'll reflect off of that. Let's just say somebody in the comment section will reflect on that and be like, well, just because you're not hot and she's hot, that means you're jealous. Somebody will reflect no matter what it is. And I know those things already. I already know they're there. People will always bounce and be like, well, you're reflecting because you're ugly and she's pretty and stuff like that. But it's just like, again, people are self-helping themselves in bad ways. People are brainwashing themselves constantly. People are just constantly telling themselves that they're this, or they're trying to be a better person. They're trying this, and they just keep rubbing it in the show. Oh, I'm just trying to be a person. I'm just trying to be a Christian, and I'm just trying to be, trying to be some sort of religious. Like, try not to hate on people, try not to let their personality kick in versus religious, because I know a lot of, let's just say Louisiana people. Oh, I'm from Louisiana and we go crack. Oh, we go. Oh, Lord, Jesus Christ. Oh, the devil's coming into me. Oh, the devil's coming into me. I can't. In reality check, that person is hurting inside because they're not letting their personality be in them. They're thinking that the devil is coming out of them because their personality is African American, and that's what African Americans do, is they like to fight back. So anyways, guys, A lot of people self work on themselves in very bad ways, guys. Very bad ways. If you're one of them, click that like and the button because people really, really need to focus on themselves in better ways. Focus yourself on better ways, you will get somewhere. You don't brainwash yourself. Believe me, it doesn't work. And I'll see you in the next one. Peace.